So these selections were just a few of the knives.
Marfion custom knives.
Nice. I'm turning into Matt D.
Matt D.
Keep it sharp.
Hey everybody, this is Clayton from KnifeCenter, and I'm sitting here with our buyer, Jason.
Good to be here.
Is it?
It is.
Okay.
Wouldn't lie to you about something like that.
We're going over the edge with some classic Spyderco models here.
We've got some old stuff, we've got some new stuff, we've got some stuff that compares well between the old and the new, stuff that really shows the evolution of the Spyderco line over the last 30, 40 years. So you had said we were going to start with Worker, which is the original Spyderco model. And this is a later version of it.
This one is from 2001.
Okay.
The Worker originally debuted at SHOT Show in 1981. It was, as Jason said, their very first model.
It's, it's kind of a peripheral model to them, but it's a special model because it's what got them started in knives after the sharpener.
So this is the Spyderco Delica. It's an absolute classic. It's probably their flagship model at this point, if it's not the paramilitary.
It's their bread and butter. It's their Buck 110.
Exactly.
I mean, not to talk about other brands.
And this particular version comes from 2007. The original Delica debuted in 1990, so it's still a fairly old model.
And there's an original Delica. You'll notice the plastic pocket clip. You'll notice that the clip is only in one place. A much reduced volcano grip. Of course, no scoop on the back, the boy dent to help you find the lock back. But still not that much different in terms of, I'll let you hold those two up, not much different in overall profile or use. But it's just all the constant quality improvements of CQI. Here is an interim level. This is, I think they call this the 3. So this would have been early 2000s. They had gone to a metal clip that was reversible at least left to right. You still were only able to carry tip up. But the volcano grip has evolved. You might show that next to that original one and see how it's gotten much more textured to provide better hand purchase.
So just for a quick point of comparison here, we have our Worker, and the Worker was kind of iconically in the stainless steel handle. This is the serrated version, and so that's the reason we picked as a contemporary the stainless steel Delica 4. Of course, you can get it in FRN, you can get it in G10, you can get it in
all materials.
KnifeCenter exclusive Paca wood, which is lovely. See, it's a very similar profile. The blade shape on the Worker is a little more unique, whereas the Delica has what has become the iconic Spyderco leaf shape. This time with a grind on it that you don't typically see. But as far as a contemporary for the Worker, it's a pretty good match.
You're going to show the evolution of the native. That's an interesting one because that one they actually, as Spyderco began their production in Golden, they started to bring some things into the States that had always been produced. So the native that you have here was a Japan model, which I think 1 through 3 were. And then by the time we got to the 5, we're being made in Golden.
So if we look at this native 3 here, we have VG10 steel, and this handle is FRN, and this particular one is from 2005, and again, Jason likes his serrations, so
well, you work in a warehouse, you cut boxes, you have serrations.
there you go.
Jason also liked using the ends of them to open beer bottles. You can tell which ones I actually used because the ends have been chewed off.
That's not good knife etiquette.
No, it's not. Don't ever do that with a Chris Reeve.
So just for the comparison here between the 3 and the 5. The 5, this particular model is CPM S30V, and the handle is FRN again, but there are a variety of other options available. As Jason says, this one is made in Golden, Colorado, in their Colorado factory, whereas this one is Seki City, Japan. So, if you like American products, Native 5 is perfect for you. Some of the differences, you'll note that the Native 5 is a lot thinner than the Native 3, and it's a lot, I want to say squarer. It doesn't have the kind of rounded edges that you'll see on the Native 3. And this one also has a stainless steel pocket clip as opposed to the wire clip that Spyderco is known for. So this one is interesting. This one is called the Co-Pilot, and it is called that because you can carry it on an airplane.
Back before 9/11, Spyderco said, hey, let's make a knife that's small enough that it goes through airport security. This is from the sprint run that came out, I guess, in the last 10 years. When did this one?
This sprint run is from 2006. The original
okay.
Co-Pilot is from 1987.
Right. And this is a late 80s version in the tougher, which was a coating that they did on and off for years to just create kind of a different appearance to the handle.
And unsurprisingly, this model was discontinued in 2001, which is when it stopped being produced. And so, the contemporary, we're looking at the Spyderco Dragonfly. You see it's a very similar profile. Again, the blade is more in the iconic Spyderco leaf shape than the original. That's kind of the direction they've gone with a lot of their staple knives, and that proves to be the case here as well. And again, you're looking at the wire clip instead of the stainless steel clip, which is on this sprint run version. The Dragonfly you'll typically see in the FRN handles, and this is VG10 stainless steel. But you can get it in ZDP 189. Our exclusive is HAP 40 and SUS 410. And so you have a lot of variety in the type of Dragonfly you want, but it is a very similar feel in the hand to the original Co-Pilot.
Yeah, I think this is a great transition point to mention this. Spyderco has always had a great core series, both in exotic materials, but also just in standard FRN. That is the Ladybug, Dragonfly, Delica, Endura, and then up into some of the larger models. That is just an everyday core, great carry knife. And then they do stuff weird.
This is actually going to be the easiest one-to-one as far as comparing classics to contemporaries. This is the VESUVIUS. The original VESUVIUS, a Frank Senafonte design, and it debuted in 2001. This one is from their Golden, Colorado factory, and it's the compression lock, notably, which is, I'd say, one of our favorite Spyderco locks.
Y'all enjoy.
You're not a...
I'm not a compression lock fan. It's a liner lock that's on the wrong side of the knife. I either do a lock back on top or, frame lock, liner lock on the bottom. They're rules, man. They're rules.
This 2001 VESUVIUS is the ATS 34 stainless steel, which I know the ATS series steels were, I think they're considered by some to be the golden age of Spyderco steels.
There's ATS 34, which was a steel that was available to anybody that wouldn't purchase it from the manufacturer. ATS 55, which we have on something here.
I think this worker is the ATS 55.
That was a proprietary steel that Spyderco came up with. It was essentially their own take on ATS 34 that was completely proprietary. Nobody else used ATS 55 on their products, and once ATS 34 had kind of lost its glow when the next thing came along, Spyderco just quietly moved on from it. But it was in everything that they did there for a number of years.
It still has a lot of fans on the internet.
Yeah.
This specific VESUVIUS was discontinued in 2003 with the compression lock, and our contemporary.
Oh, look, it's a lockback.
Yeah. Do
Nice.
you like this one better?
Absolutely.
Is this better
with
for
the boy
you now?
dent? Absolutely.
Yeah, so as Jason said, it's basically the same knife. It's FRN handle, but you have a lockback instead of the compression lock. I believe the pocket clip, basically the same pocket clip. This variation of the VESUVIUS debuted in 2004, right after this one was discontinued, and it's still available.
So this one, this knife was introduced in, I think, 1999, did you say, for the original one?
Yes, 1999 for the original.
And so at the 1999 SHOT Show, which happened to be in my then hometown of Atlanta, I hung out after the show and helped Spyderco strike their booth. In return for spending the night of my birthday there, February 4th, they got me serial number 204 of this knife as a birthday present.
The Zowada is a more unique Spyderco design. You have the spear point blade, and there's a nice flare to the handle here. And the handle material on this original one is actually interesting because it looks like it would be FRN or maybe smooth G10,
it's an aluminum.
But this is not aluminum, actually. You're wrong.
Really?
Make a note. You're wrong. No, this one is bead blasted micarta, which I didn't believe when I read it, but if you look at the texture on it.
No, you're right. I don't know. But I haven't carried it as a daily carry in 15 years. So I just had in my mind that was like a flat blasted aluminum.
and it was difficult to find a contemporary for this one. So this is the Ed Shemp Euroedge, and if you know Ed Shemp and his Spyderco collaboration, he always does kind of weird and wild designs, very far from the norm for Spyderco, and this is no exception. The reason we picked it as the contemporary for this is that you get a similar kind of shape as far as the flared handle with this kind of thumb ramp and finger guard, such as it is, and it's also a spear point blade. But this one, the Euroedge, is very large and just formidable in the hand. I mean,
it's a big, beautiful knife.
Big, beautiful knife, nice liner lock, really smooth, easy deployment. So it's a fun knife, and if you like the look of the Zowada, but you want to go for something a little more extreme,
right,
this is the perfect pick for you.
So that was just a quick rundown of some classic and interesting discontinued models and the contemporaries that they have. And I'm going to let Jason finish us out because we have something really interesting.
This was just
here.
as we were going through stuff, and ironically, the one that I couldn't get here in time was the original Q that just has a spiderweb bug kind of motif. So this was a knife they came out with in, again, I think, what, 97? 90, yeah, it looks like 97. And this was something they were doing in golden because they could do the etching or laser cutting, for lack of a better word. All the handles were the same.
But they basically, you'd sit down at the SHOT Show and they'd say, well, here's your, so let's see which one is the SHOT Show one. That's Blade Show, so this would be SHOT. And if you get way up close on that, you can actually see around the thumb hole. I think it says SHOT Show. This was a tropical scene, and so they gave everybody one of these. It was a way to encourage them to get creative and make your own exclusive. Did two different things. Did one that was a mountain scene. I requested, and they came up with this, which I always thought was amazingly cool because essentially the Spyderco trademark round hole is the sun setting on the Rocky Mountains. Yeah, there were a number of, I think there are websites devoted to all the different variations.
There are plenty of collectors who have as many of them as possible.
Yeah.
You can see the history of each
Although
one.
I thought it was cool that this one didn't show up. One of our researchers
they
was trying to
had no idea.
figure this one out and couldn't.
So it's a really interesting design. I don't know how practical it is unless you like to spend a lot of time cleaning your knife. But
Right.
For a collector's piece, it's really interesting. And when we found them in Jason and Howard's collections, we couldn't not show them off.
We love to go to SHOT Show and Blade Show and see all the new models and the mid-year models, and we've certainly covered a lot of those in recent years. But it is fun to dive back and look at just exactly how far they've come and some of the more interesting and unique designs that they've tried over the years. So, Jason, thanks for breaking out your collection, and
Much fun.
thanks for sitting down with us.
Always.
So these selections were just a few of the knives in Jason and Howard's very impressive collections. We've got many more Spydercos and many other brands as well. So if you'd like to see another one of these videos, let us know what old Spydercos you want to see or what other brands you want to see, and we can go over the edge on even more exciting old knives.
Sounds like fun.
We'll have a link in the description below with all these models available, and until next time, I'm Clayton,
I'm Jason.
and thanks for watching.
Over the Edge.